Welcome to another epic episode of the thought-provoking series, The Whisper of the Ancient Wind, The Wisdom of Ages. The city never sleeps. It's a relentless machine of ambition, a neon jungle where everyone's clawing their way to the top of some glittering, empty tower. Down here, in the shadows, the rain washes the streets clean, but it can't wash away the noise. The constant hum of more, bigger, louder. It gets into your bones, makes you forget what you were even chasing in the first place. I've seen it 1,000 times. Good people, lost in the labyrinth of desire chasing phantoms in fancy suits. They think strength is about having the most, shouting the loudest. But the real tough cases, the ones who really know the score, they whisper. They talk about a different kind of power, something the big shots on the top floor wouldn't understand. They call it humility. Sounds soft, doesn't it? But before we proceed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss out on this series' enriching content. Like something you'd find in a dusty old book no one's touched in years. But don't let the name fool you. It's got more grit than a back alley brawler. I remember an old case, a file so old the ink was fading. It was about a guy named Socrates, over in Athens. He wasn't a king or a general. He just walked the streets, asking questions. The bigwigs, the sophists, they claimed to have all the answers. They sold knowledge like it was cheap liquor. But Socrates, he had a different angle. His big confession? I know that I know nothing. Imagine that. In a city full of so-called experts, the wisest guy in the room was the only one willing to admit he didn't have the whole story. That's not weakness. That's a kind of courage the city's forgotten. It's the courage to be a student, not just a master. It's understanding that the moment you think you know it all, the real case has just gone cold. Then there's another name that keeps popping up in these old files, a shadow from the East named Lao Tzu. This character, he had a saying, "The river is mighty because it seeks the low ground." Think about that. All the skyscrapers in this town, they fight to touch the sky. But the river, it carves canyons just by yielding, by going where no one else wants to go, down. Lao Tzu saw strength not in rising above everyone, but in being beneath them, in serving. He talked about the uncarved block, the beauty of things in their natural simple state before we try to shape them into something they're not. He knew that the more you add, the more you chisel away, the more you lose the original truth of the thing. It's a lesson this city, with its endless renovations and upgrades, desperately needs to learn. You see, humility isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less. It's about getting out of your own way. I've seen it in the old traditions, stories passed down from African elders. They speak of Ubuntu, the idea that I am because we are. Your strength isn't just your own. It's tied up in the strength of your community, your family, your neighbors. They knew that a single tree, no matter how tall, can be toppled by a storm. But a forest? A forest stands together, its roots all tangled up, holding each other steady. The tallest tree isn't the most important. Every single one plays its part. That's a kind of wisdom that doesn't come from a corner office. It comes from watching the seasons, from understanding that survival is a team sport. And that brings us to the flip side of this coin, simplicity. In a world screaming for your attention, trying to sell you the next big thing, the next distraction, choosing simplicity is a rebellion. It's the ultimate noir move, stepping back into the shadows, out of the blinding spotlight of consumerism. This city is full of noise, notifications, advertisements, the endless chatter of people trying to prove they exist. It's a smokescreen. It keeps you running on a treadmill chasing a carrot on a stick that keeps moving further away. You get the new car, the bigger apartment, the latest gadget. And, for a moment, it's quiet. But then the noise comes back, louder this time. The hunger is never satisfied. It's a rigged game, a con job on a massive scale. The sages, they knew the secret. The way out isn't to get more. It's to need less. Simplicity isn't about poverty or giving everything up. It's about clarity. It's about clearing out the clutter, both in your home and in your head, so you can see what actually matters. It's the difference between a cluttered desk where you can't find a single lead and a clean surface with just the case file you're working on. Which one helps you solve the mystery? Think about it. A gourmet meal with 100 ingredients you can't pronounce? Or a simple piece of bread, fresh from the oven? A conversation filled with clever remarks and one-upmanship? Or a moment of shared, honest silence with someone you trust? The truth is usually simple. It's the lies that get complicated. We build these complex lives, these intricate webs of obligations and possessions, and then we wonder why we feel so trapped. We're the spiders and the flies, caught in a web of our own making. Choosing simplicity is like turning down the volume on the world so you can finally hear your own thoughts. It's walking instead of taking a cab, just to feel the pavement under your feet and see the city from a different angle. It's having one good coat instead of a closet full of cheap ones. It's about quality, not quantity. It's about intention. It's about asking yourself, does this thing, this activity, this ambition truly serve me, or am I serving it? So here's the takeaway, the lead I'm passing on to you, the case for you to crack. Don't just listen to these words, put them into action. Tonight or tomorrow, find one small way to practice this forgotten strength. The file from the sages suggests an act of anonymous humility. Do something helpful for someone, but do it in secret. Don't wait for a thank you. Don't post about it, just do it. Pay for the coffee for the person behind you and leave before they know. Tidy up a mess in a public space that isn't yours. Leave a generous tip for a server you'll never see again. The point isn't the act itself. The point is to do it without the ego getting its paycheck, to do good for its own sake. It's a quiet act of defiance against a world that says every action needs to be seen, to be validated. Feel what that's like, to be a force for good that moves through the city like a shadow, asking for nothing in return. That's real power. It's the strength of the river, the wisdom of the uncarved block, the courage of, I don't know. In the noise of this concrete jungle, find the quiet, humble seed of your own strength. It's already there. It's just waiting for you to get out of the way and let it grow. This case is far from closed. It's the one we all have to work every single day. Thanks for walking these rainy streets with me for a while. If you found something of value in the shadows here tonight, do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll crack another case together soon. Stay sharp out there.